Hey cats, it's Ed, a little bit under the weather bud here. Welcome back to another episode of the world famous running shoe, yay or nay. Thanks for joining us here on the channel, guys. It is always appreciated. If you haven't done so already, do hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications when we roll out the new videos for you. Beast would be most appreciative too if you give this video a thumbs up like and also share it with your running buddies. Meow. 4 shoes today. I'm going to discuss whether I may pick them up some way down the line on release. Some of them might be released already, others are merely prototypes or just sort of hints of a shoe. Maybe they've appeared on the internet somewhere and I want to dig into them and discuss whether I could pick them up for review in the future for my valued viewers. It could be that I think that some other shoe tuber might do them more justice, so it could be a nay on those. Let's have a gander. Shoe 1. The SAUCONY ENDORPHIN Elite. My word, what a bizarre looking shoe this is. Clearly aimed at being the Saucony version of the ADIDAS Adizero Prime X. No idea on the stack here, though it looks perhaps more than it is, I would assume. I think the midsole probably cups around the back of the heel there. I can't honestly believe it's that high. There's some type of lateral and medial strap there, perhaps locking the foot in a little bit, like a wrap I suppose, improving the support of the shoe. The angular profile of the heel and the highly perforated tongue all make for quite a remarkable piece of footwear. Huge sections of the midsole on the underside there appear to be carved out. It's almost like someone's been caving there with their pickaxe. And drum roll, there's even a new outsole design. Well done, Saucony. You've done it at last. Well done, guys. That's what I've wanted in a new Saucony release, them to switch up the outsole rubber. It's been the bane of the shoes up to this point, I think, and they've made that change. A little bit like Michael Jackson. No idea on price, release, or whether the shoe's even real or not. Anything could be happening right now and I wouldn't know. I sadly have finally succumbed to the terrible illness. I feel alright actually at the moment. That could be the whole bottle of Lucozade that I've just drunk. The images here do seem somewhat synthetic, don't they? Like they could have been a mock-up or something, I'm not sure. Maybe they've used that 3D technology where you can sort of twist the shoe around a bit. But then again, all running shoes seem a little bit synthetic these days, don't they? I love the bonkers high stack of this shoe, and I think after my experiences in the Adizero Prime X that I've got to test this one out. As such, it's a yay for the SAUCONY ENDORPHIN Elite. Shoe 2. A trail shoe of the maximal nature now in the ZOOMX ZEGAMA. Hope I've pronounced that correctly. I do believe it's a actual place, a small town. Not much to go on here though, apart from a couple of images. Though I spot a weird lacing arrangement in the front eyelets. What's that all about, guys? Answers on a postcard. Could we expect a ZOOMX Invincible run for the trails here? Maybe? Well, no, it appears this model could have a full-length carbon plate embedded into that squashy midsole to provide some extra stability and distribute some of the foot strike forces. Almost like a Terra Kyga meets Invincible run, I suppose, with a little bit of added wild horse in there. And some next percent hits for good measure. Interesting, this shoe is named after the starting town of a trail and skyrunning race. I believe that's been going on for a good 20 years or so. I think it's like a marathon race and then a vertical kilometre. That sounds good. Going down a kilometre. Oh, maybe they meant it was going up. That doesn't sound so good anymore. Especially not right now, as it takes a lot of energy even to just walk up the stairs. I think those races are probably only for the well-trained and well-prepared. Again, I'm sure there's a bit of a heel cup thing going on here with all that foam. There's got to be, right? Especially for a trail shoe where terrain's going to be a little bit undulating and uneven. A little bit like a walk through Yeovil Town Centre on a Sunday morning after a very heavy Saturday night. All in all, this is quite an exciting trail offering from Nike. They're really putting it out there. Definite yay for me to test out this Pebax Trail Monster. Oh yes. I'm just surprised it's taken them this long to make one. I think Nike trail shoes are perhaps a little bit like their approach to the skateboarding shoes, where all the skateboarders originally loved the Dunks, but Nike chose to make these horrific looking things that no one really liked. Everyone just kept going back to the Dunks after a while, and they finally realised that and really focused in on the skateboarding market. It's a little bit like the trail shoe market, I think. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments, guys. Shoe 3. Sticking with that maximal vibe today, guys. We've got the ADIDAS 4DFWD X Pali. A 180 Earth credit shoe, this one that's recently released, though it seems like it's selling pretty well. There's only a few sizes left on the Adidas 3-stripe site. Man, I need to drink a whole bottle of Lucasade before I do every video. You've got the 4D printed midsole here. Boy oh boy, it's like something out of Back to the Future 2. Though despite the appearance, there's only a 30mm heel stack. I imagine the issue here will be with weight. I know some of the other 4D printed midsole shoes were quite heavy affairs. And of course, if you're eating your Doritos over the top of your shoes, it could fall in and become part of the midsole. Plus all the grit, grime and debris that you meet on a typical run. The structure of the midsole really is quite striking against the typical contenders, don't you think? I'm still not dead set on this being the future of running shoes. I just think it's a bit of a gimmick. Adidas still lists this one within the running shoe category, and despite that, I think it's just going to be one of those lifestyle type models. I can also see the outsole here being a magnet for dirt and debris, and when you take that high pricing into account, I think there's going to be few that pick this one up. Means it's a nay for me on the Adidas 4DFWD X Pali. I have to say, I do appreciate the whole Pali scheme there, turning waste water bottles that have been washed up on shores into something new. A very worthy cause, and I'm glad to see that lots of companies are currently getting on board with that. About time. Shoe 4. It's the AirZoom MAXFLY more up-tempo. You guys know I'm a sneakerhead at heart, so I was very excited to see Nike drop a new version of this racing spike, but with a very significant difference. It's in the more up-tempo style, which many people will know from the basketball shoe. This one is a spike for short distances between 100 and 400 meters. I think they also mention about hurdles in it. I struggle to walk around normally and stay on my feet, so trying to do hurdles is probably a bad idea. You've got an aggressive spike setup there with 7 different protrusions and a full-length carbon plate too, because you have to have one of those now or no one's interested. There are 2 thinner AirZoom pockets under the forefoot for a really propulsive ride. They are much thinner, in fact, than the ones that we've seen on the AlphaFly Next Percent and the Tempo Next Percent. There's an almost fish-like scaly upper there. It's slated as flyweave with the now staple notched laces. One of the more expensive spikes out there though at $167.95. Not sure why they've chose that exact pricing. It's a bit odd really, isn't it? It's not a shoe that I need at all, this one, guys. I've got a pair of Dragonfly spikes and that is total overkill for me already. The styling though, as per the Nike Air more up-tempo, is killer. You may even be able to get as high in the air as Scottie Pippen used to do. A nay on the shoe for me, but a yay on the styling. Fantastic. That's all 4 shoes in the yay or nay for today. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions down in the comments. A musical interlude for you. I recently watched a documentary about the Dave Clark 5. They had a big hit obviously back in the 60s. I think there were about 3 or 4 really large singles that they put out. Glad All Over is probably the one that you know best, and of course Bits and Pieces. Really weird story though with the Dave Clark 5, where I think he didn't actually play on some of the studio recordings. Certainly played live on the drums, but yeah, the rest of it was done by a session person apparently. Putting that aside though, I love the almost insanely happy Glad All Over. The delivery of the song is just so enthusiastic, it's impossible not to bring a smile to your face. There's that sort of foot stomping, you know, fist-pounding chorus that everybody knows. The whole structure of the track's just built to bring a smile and kind of excite everybody. That's the sort of thing that everyone needs right now. I do play a version of that song with my father's group. Yeah, I think I went a little bit too over the top on the production because it's almost like a punishing backing to it. If you've never heard the group before though, I urge you to go and check it out. One of those really mysterious groups from the 1960s, the Dave Clark 5. How many other drummers were there that were the lead person in the group? Let me know if there are any others that I've missed out. Right cats, that's the end of the video for today. Thanks for sticking with me to the very end, it is appreciated. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications. Also give this video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you. Beast, what are you doing? Never work with children or animals. Are you finished? Can I get on with it now? Go on. How can I work with these amateurs?